Assalamu alaikum. This is Huma Islam, your O levels Islamiyat teacher. Today's topic is Allah's predestination and decree, Taqdeer and Qada. This is from chapter 4, paper 2, and it's the articles of faith. Now, predestination, Qadr, it's from the root letters Qaf, Dal, and Ra. Qadr, we also call it Taqdeer. Qadr means to measure out, to fix a limit, or Qadir means omnipotent, all powerful. To measure out, in other words, when you are measuring something out, when we're fixing something with a limit, and then Qadir also means the power, all powerful. Now, the first creation was qalam, the pen, in other words. There's a hadith in which it is mentioned that the first thing Allah created was the pen. He told it to write. It asked what to write, and then it was answered, write what will be and what will take place before the hour arrives. What hour arrives? The hour of Qiyamah. So every single thing that was to happen on earth since the first day of its creation up till Qiyamah was all written out. With a specific measurement, with a specific limitation onto its subjects, and all of its creation and everything was done by the Qadir, the omnipotent, the one who has the power to do all. Now the pen wrote everything going to be created and how it will work and its end. In other words, suppose the creation of man was written down, how the man would live on earth, when would he be raised, when would his soul be taken away, and then where would it be buried, where would the soul be buried, and then how will it get to the next world. This was all written by the pen. According to Allah's law, He created every single thing, He made it perfect, measured it perfectly, and guided it perfectly. If you can see, if we take the example of the sun, Allah created the sun, Allah perfected the sun, putting it on the right position, far away from earth so that we don't burn by its heat, and not too far so that we end up getting too cold, and not too near to us. So its position and its actions and its rotations are perfected, decided until when it will work. Allah has also decided up till the day that the sun will work. And what is that day? As we know by the Quran, that will be the day of Qiyamah. And the son follows divine orders. He doesn't say, "Oh, I don't feel like coming out today. I don't feel like working." No, he's following Allah's divine orders and stays in its orbit and never slacks. Whereas we, mankind, when we are given choice, we don't follow Allah's divine orders, and we slack in many things, especially when it comes to worshipping Allah. Now, Muslims' belief. What is a Muslim belief? Allah created us, of course. He perfected us. In other words, He made us perfect. He destined our life, will guide us to our end. What Allah has decided has to be accepted. He is all-knowing and all-wise. Now, when Allah created us, He knows how to make man's brain work. If the universe was created, it was created for a reason. How much oxygen is needed in the universe and by a person is all destined by Allah. No one has any knowledge of His taqdeer. In other words, what's going to happen in the future, we do not know. Knows how hot the sun should be. So these all things were created and set limits and precised by Allah. Quran states supreme will of Allah. وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. But you cannot will to do so. In other words, you can't intend to do so except by the will of Allah, the Lord of the worlds. And then another verse is from Surah Yasin. All it takes when He wills something to be is simply to say it be, and it be. Kun fayakun. That's all it takes for Allah when He decides something to happen. And then the third quote that I got there that you can add, I try to choose small quotes that you can revise by heart. You can memorize them by heart, and then you can add to your work. That's why I choose very small quotes. Inna kulla shay'in khalaqnahu biqadar. Indeed, we have created everything perfectly and preordained. Why have I added these quotes here? So that you can add it to your answers. They're easy to remember, and they will support your answers, giving you 8, 9, or a 10. And then I have another verse for you. Allah is the one who created 7 heavens in layers. And likewise for the earth, the divine command descends between them. So you may know that Allah is the most capable of everything, and that Allah certainly encompasses all things in His knowledge. Allah knows about everything. Then if Allah knows about everything, then why do dua? If one is destined to be ill, then why pray for health? If Allah predestined my fate, then why struggle? I mean, we get these questions from many students. I get these questions from many students, not just students, even common Muslims, even mature Muslims ask the same question. If you can see the verse at the side that I've got, وَقُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ, say everything is truthful and rightful from Allah. فَمَنْ شَاءَ, so whoever wills, فَلْيُؤْمِنْ, then believe. وَمَنْ شَاءَ, and whoever wills, فَلْيَكْفُرْ, then disbelieve. It's up to you. Man has been given freedom of choice under limitations to do good or bad. Like we've got the freedom of speech. You can either speak good or you can either speak bad. That's your own choice. Hearing, you either listen to something good or you listen to something bad. Hands, you either commit sin with your hands or you either do beneficial things with your hands. It's up to you. He sent guidance, whether you accept it or not, that's up to you. Path, right or wrong, he's told about the path. He's defined the right and wrong path in the Quran clearly. Whether you accept it, whether you study the Quran, it's up to you. Your actions, right or wrong, will be your own responsibility. Remember that. Now, to understand taqdeer, once Hazrat Ali was asked about taqdeer and one's choice. He asked a man to raise his leg, so he did. In other words, he told him to stand on one leg, so he did. Then he asked him to raise the other leg. He said he couldn't. Ali replied, that is taqdeer, your limit. In other words, he had a choice to raise his leg, right? That was in his choice. He could do it. But then when he was told to raise his second leg also at the same time, he said, I can't do it. And that is the limitation. That is the decree that Allah has levied upon you, that there are some things that you can do and some things that you cannot. Then we have a hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if anything befalls you, don't say, if I would have done so and so, Rather say, Allah foreordained this, and whatever He wishes, He does. For verily the phrase, if only I would have makes way for the work of Satan. You know, when we say, Kash, aisa ho jata, only if this would have done, then this would have not have happened. There's in the Quran, it's mentioned that if any musibat, any problem is destined to come to you, nobody can remove it. And if any khair, any good is destined to come to you, nobody can remove that. In other words, what is due for you will come to you. That's why this qawl, la quwwata illa billah, that there is no power other than Allah's. No matter what we do, we can try our level best to sometimes gain success, or get, try to get married to a single, to a person, or try to score a place in a university, try to get A stars. No matter what you do, there is no power other than Allah's that can make you achieve anything in life. Then another concept of qada, divine decree, is the time of death is decided. Everyone has to go. Kullu nafsin zaiqatul maut. If it is decreed for anybody to leave the world at a specific time, no power can stop him from going. And it is this, the day of death, has also been decreed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I hope that answers the topic.